Welcome again to the Dave LewAllen podcast. We cover sports stories, newsmakers, and difference makers in our communities in Southeast Michigan and across the state of Michigan. And my guest today is Steve Annear. He is the CEO of the Kirk Gibson Center for Parkinson's, and he covers the newsmaker angle and also the difference maker angle for sure. We're going to talk about Steve's story, about Kirk Gibson's story, and what is coming online to assist those who have Parkinson's disease. But first of all, Steve, welcome. Thank you for the time today. And you are going to embark on an incredible challenge, calling it the Kilimanjaro Challenge. With your wife, you are going to scale this mountain in Africa and Tanzania in order to, create awareness and support for what you're building with Kirk?
Yeah, that's right. So thanks for having me on. It's just great to be here and be able to talk about what we're doing in Kirk's Foundation. It's very exciting times for us. And we leave in 2 weeks now to head to Tanzania, and we'll be in our base camp on the 25th of August and start heading up the mountain. So, climbing Kilimanjaro is always something that I wanted to do. And what made the dream happen for me was being able to use that journey to build awareness around Parkinson's disease, which is the fastest growing neurological disease in the US, and also the work of the foundation and raise money for this centre that we're almost ready to open. In fact, we moved into our new offices here in Farmington Hills yesterday alongside the centre. So this is my first meeting in my new office since we had the construction completed.
That's fantastic. And we're going to get more into that, about the facility and services that are going to be offered to those who have Parkinson's. But this challenge, scaling Mount Kilimanjaro, especially challenging in that you have challenges yourself and have had since the age of 11. You'll make this trek on crutches. Tell us about this. And this is going to be an extremely challenging thing for you physically, mentally, right?
Yeah, it will. I think something like this is, everyone will have their own challenges. You're right. I had my leg amputated when I was 11, and I don't have a prosthetic leg, so I've always been on crutches, and so I'm very used to living a life on crutches. So that's my normal, and I'm very comfortable with that. The key, though, is like anybody who's going to do something like this, you've got to get your body ready, you've got your mind ready. And part of that preparation for Shauna and I has been to go to Colorado and reacquaint ourselves with high mountains and what it's like to be on really steep mountainsides, and the concentration required to do that on crutches and making sure that your point of contact is always solid is really important. So that's kind of a mind training exercise you go through, as well as getting your body ready. But I don't feel that for me doing this on crutches is particularly extraordinary, because that's my normal. And living my life that way is means that this is just another way of pushing myself and another challenge and getting outside my comfort zone. And I think we're ready. We're getting close.
Yeah. Well, you've got to acclimate yourself as well to, the altitude and things that are involved. This is, as I read it, like a 47-mile trek to reach the summit, which you hope to achieve on September the 4th. And there's a fundraising aspect of this challenge, certainly, that all of us can choose to support if we like. Your effort to bring awareness and support for the center as well. Tell us about that aspect of what your goal is, what you're hoping to achieve.
Yeah, so you're right. It's a 47-mile up and down trek, and we'll be on the mountain for 9 days. all going well. The key, I think, for us, assuming that we are ready and we've done the training, which I think's all good, is really what happens on the mountain. So we can't control the weather, and we also can't control, what happens to our bodies at that high altitude. So, we'll be getting up to almost 20,000 feet when we summit, and the effect of that level of altitude on the human body varies a lot by individual. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Can't control it. We just got to listen to our guides, do the right thing, and do everything we can to get to the top. And getting to the top for us is a combination of a fundraising program that we've been, involved in for the last few months now, and a very fantastic friend of the foundation, Rick Lash, and his family, Suzanne, put up a $250,000 match and said, they'll back us dollar for dollar for up to raising $250,000, and we are almost at $180,000 of that $250,000 match, which is really, really exciting. So we've got $70,000 to go, and if anybody, and that $70,000 will unlock the $250,000 from the Lash family. So if anybody would like to support us, they can come onto our website, the KirkGibsonFoundation.org, and there's all the information there about how they could donate. We'd love to have their support.
Well, we hope many will as well. And we wish you all the best on this incredible challenge that you and Shauna, your wife, will be undertaking this month. I applaud you for what you are doing, and it is an incredible thing, for anyone to be taking on that challenge, and you're doing it. So kudos to you on that. All right, now let's talk about the beneficiary of this challenge, this fundraising effort, and all of the other efforts to put toward a facility, the Kirk Gibson Center, to provide support and services for those afflicted with Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, that's the whole point for what we're doing. You look at a challenge and a goal, like there's a climbing a mountain like Kilimanjaro, and that gives you a certain level of motivation. But what takes over, I think, from that is the purpose of being able to help people, and that's what we do in the foundation, and that's what we're doing with the opening of the centres. That's much more motivating than the personal achievement of getting to the top. And through this effort, and through the effort of our other fundraising and the efforts of all the incredible people that work in the Kirk Gibson Foundation, we're opening this centre on October 6th. We've just started the soft launch period, and the soft launch period will help us to train all of our coaches, train all of our staff, train all of our volunteers, start the assessment and orientation process for the members. And for the members themselves, this is everything in the centre will be free. And the activities that we'll be providing are, are movement-based programs primarily, because we know that movement is really, really beneficial for people living with Parkinson's. It helps them live a better quality of life. It helps them mentally, but importantly, it slows down the onset of the symptoms of Parkinson's for most people, the right kind of movement and exercise. So that's the core of the programming, but we're also offering a whole lot of education classes. We're offering a whole lot of support activities for both people living with Parkinson's, but also their families, their loved ones, so that they can learn about what it's like to live with someone with Parkinson's, learn what the road ahead looks like, and also be supported by people going through the same challenges themselves. Parkinson's disease is a progressive. It doesn't stop. We can slow it down, but it doesn't stop. So it really takes a united effort to help people who aren't battling Parkinson's to live a really full life. And that is ultimately the goal of the centre. When Kirk first came up with this vision of we should be doing more to help people live with Parkinson's, it was based on our knowledge that movement really does matter, and there are so few programs available for people to go to really help them live a better life. And so we're trying to fill that gap. And we want to fill that gap where it doesn't cost people anything. So they don't have to worry about the money. There's no insurance involved. They can come. Their caregivers can come. It's a community centre. And we've designed it so that, people will feel hopefully great about just hanging out. So they might go to a yoga class or a boxing class or hang out on a walking track for a while. But they can also sit down and play a board game of cards, have a cup of coffee, just have a chat. The pool tables are just being put in today, so there's all sorts of gaming activities. So we've tried to really make this comprehensively a place where people will feel that it's their place. They can live their normal life here without any judgment, without any pressure, but also work on themselves and living a healthier life.
And this is personal for Kirk Gibson. He was diagnosed in 2015 with Parkinson's, and he has been very public about that. He has made it his mission as he fights Parkinson's through movement and activity to, again, provide this same opportunity and support for others, because he knows it has helped him during his battle, right?
Absolutely. I come from Australia and have been here 10 years, Dave. I never knew Kirk, the baseball star, but I admire him for many other reasons. And I think that a couple of those that really stand out for me is that he could be living a life where he's just looking after his own health and his family, which he loves very much. But he chooses to come to the foundation every day and lead us and work tirelessly to help other people. And this is the signature kind of moment now of all of the work that's been done in the foundation over the last few years is being able to open this centre, which has taken a lot of work from a lot of people, incredible people that work in the foundation. And here we are, we're about to get it open. And one of the other things I just really admire about him is just what you said. He lives what he knows to be right, and that is that exercise and movement are critical, and Kirk won't give in to the disease. He's relentless. So it's like this epic battle that goes on. You've got this relentless disease that never gives in, and you've got Kirk Gibson, who's relentless and never gives in, and they meet daily. And he just pushes himself all the time to live a very full life. And so he's the poster boy for this whole concept and reality around the value of movement and exercise if you have Parkinson's.
Well, and tell us more about Parkinson's and the numbers of people, in the state of Michigan, in Metro Detroit, that are fighting, this battle right along with Kirk.
Yeah, so Parkinson's is the fastest growing neurological disease in the US and, in fact, the developed world. And so it's almost a hidden disease in a way because, firstly, it takes a long time for diagnosis. Symptoms can present themselves that quite often are misdiagnosed. And so people are living with the disease and not knowing they've actually got the disease. That's an issue. About 90 to 100,000 people a year are being diagnosed in the US, newly diagnosed. And in the Midwest, the incident rate's much higher. So we believe that there are about 35,000 people that living with the disease diagnosed in Michigan. And so 35,000 families that are impacted by it. Most of them obviously are in East Michigan. And so it's an extraordinary number of people. And so we wanted to locate the centre as centrally as we could to give access to as many people as we could. We believe there are about 8,000 people living with Parkinson's within a 30-minute drive of the centre. And our goal is to make sure, if we can, that every one of them know that the centre is open and it's available and it's free. So We have an outreach group that are getting out into the medical community and out into the aged community, the aged transportation community, to try and get the word out. So, and we'll just keep working on that for quite a few years yet until we feel that we've pretty much done that job. So not only do we have to get this incredible location and facility open, we have to get in contact with everybody living with Parkinson's. So if people are thinking about how they want to help us, I mean, financially, obviously, that's a big part of it. But also, if they know anybody with Parkinson's, to let them know about the centre. And all of the information's online. They can go and register as a member. And once you're registered as a member, we'll contact you and get you in for, the next steps to sign you up as a member.
And this facility, 30,000 square feet, and you've detailed some of what you'll be offering and what's inside the facility. But the fact that nothing like this has been available to people before, I hope every family, that is fighting this fight does take advantage of what's here to help all of them, in that fight.
Yeah, for sure. And, the way we've designed the centre, there are 4 major workout or exercise gyms and rooms. There are some smaller ones. So if we had a small class, say there was just a small class of people doing yoga, we'd have a room appropriate to that size. If we had a class where there were 30 people doing yoga, we'd have a room appropriate to that size. So, the activities themselves are the ones that are evidence-based, so that we know there is clear data and evidence demonstrating the value of that particular program to people living with the disease. So yoga is a good example of that. It's extremely good. Boxing's another one because you've got movement and you've got thinking as well. The boxing exercise program involves thinking. We've got strength and weightlifting. We've got cardio programs. We've got dance. We've got Tai Chi. So there's this really comprehensive set of programs, and we learnt about the benefit of them from an incredible organisation. When we were studying what was happening in the US to figure out what we wanted to do, we thought, well, there's going to be best in class everywhere, so let's go looking for them. And the best organisation we found was one in Cleveland, and it's a organisation called In Motion. They're a non-profit, and again, they offer everything for free. And they had developed their approach to this, the In Motion approach. And so what we've been able to do through a fantastic collaboration with them, they were great people, we've been able to base our core commencement group of programs on what is being done in Motion, including education and the family support groups. So that's a great kick-off for us. We've got all of these programs that we know work, and there's data that supports that, and there's an organisation like In Motion and others that are demonstrating it every day. So that's really flattened our learning curve and given us the confidence to say, well, look, if we put all these programs in to begin with, that's a great starting point for us. And we brought on a director of innovation who will then have the responsibility of improving what we do all the time. And again, gather the evidence, do the research, figure out the next level of best programming, and we'll implement those. So we're not just going to be static from that point of view, Dave. We just want to be continuously improving, be the very, very best we can, so that people of Michigan, anybody actually who wants to come here, can just get world-class programming, and that ultimately is our goal. And whether someone comes from Traverse City and wants to come down for a few days visit, or someone is from Ohio and wants to come across and visit us for a few days, everybody is welcome.
Well, and it's a community and a community center, and isn't that an important part of this as well? I mean, you had mentioned, look, it'd be easy just to stay within yourself and struggle with this, but the fact that there can be the support of community as well, emotionally, I would think that has to be something that's very important for people going through this as well. Yeah,
you're so right. It actually is the biggest part of it. When we were building this business case and putting this design together, Kirk was really clear about this. He said, this is all about culture. This is all about how people feel, not just the things we offer them for them to do, and which is the way we've looked at it all along. So, one of the things that happens when people are diagnosed with Parkinson's and the symptoms start to become stronger is they tend to isolate because the symptoms can be quite embarrassing. The tremors, the stiff gait, the wooden face, and lots of other things that can happen. So people become very self-conscious, and with average age of diagnosis 58, people are being diagnosed with this degenerative disease in the prime of their life. So that can be really, really a tough blow. And so having a community where people can come and socialise, where there's no judgment, where they can just be themselves, live their normal, and do the very best they can within that new reality that they live in, is part of our objective here. And so when we did the design, when you walk in the main doors through the main corridor, at the end of that corridor is Kirk's office. He wanted to be right in the centre of everything that was going on. And then as you look past that, what you will see is a big social area. Not the workout areas and the activity spaces. You see this big social area, because that's really the point, which is back to what you said. We want people to, even if they go just to one class, or maybe they don't feel like going to a class that day, but what they do feel like is socialising with others that have Parkinson's, or bringing their wife or husband along and just hanging out for a while. So that would be success for us, where people feel that they just like being there.
What do we know about Parkinson's in terms of it's degenerative? We don't have a cure. Are there efforts from a research standpoint? I mean, is there hope that someday, there could be a cure for Parkinson's? Where do we stand on all of that, Steve?
Yeah, there's a couple of really important aspects to that. I mean, wouldn't it be great if there was a cure and we didn't need this centre? That'd be a wonderful day. But we do feel that the cure is quite a while away yet. A lot of research going on. The preeminent research organisation is the Michael J. Fox organisation, and that's their mission. They're chasing the cure, and they're phenomenal. They're a juggernaut, a global juggernaut in what they're doing, going after the cure. So that is amazing. But, there's very little federal assistance to that. The total federal support for research into a cure for Parkinson's is about $247 million. To put that in context, about $3 billion is spent on further cures and assistance for people who live with AIDS. So that's not an anti-AIDS statement at all. I'm just saying that the Parkinson's community, because of the nature of this disease and the rapid growth of it, the Parkinson's community needs to be do a better job of building awareness around that federally and getting more support. But right now, most of the money going into support research in this country comes through Michael J. Fox's organisation. They are incredible. So, and that's happening globally. There are organisations all over the world searching for a cure. When we look at the reasons for Parkinson's, about 10% is genetic. So that's mutation that occurs, and that is only a very small proportion. 90% of it is believed to be because of environmental factors. And so you'll find that the prevalence of Parkinson's is much, much higher in industrialised countries where there's more pollution. And so there's a lot of research going on right now around cause and looking at the chemicals and exposure to those chemicals that is causing Parkinson's to happen. So, and still a lot more work needs to be done on that, but I think there's some clear causes, chemical causes that are being identified, and some countries are now starting to eliminate those chemicals. So I think we can attack it from a cause point of view. We can attack it for caring for people while they're living with the disease, which is what Kirk's Foundation is all about, and we can attack it from chasing the cure, which I think we can get more government support, but also support organisations like Michael's.
Well, I am incredibly, I guess, proud in a way of Kirk too. I mean, I've covered him his entire career from the time he was at Michigan State and first signed, with the Tigers and throughout his career, have followed him. And, for him to take this on and make this kind of, personal commitment and sacrifice to a community, suffering as he is with, a horrible disease. I mean, everybody, I think, should applaud, what he's doing, giving of himself to help others. I mean, this is an incredible thing from a guy who has lived here his entire life, and loves Michigan, loves Southeast Michigan, and what a way to give back and to help others.
It is inspiring, isn't it? And I think that's the nature of Kirk. I think when you look back at his life, he's done many inspirational things. And that's funny. As someone who wasn't here in '84, when people are sitting around talking to Kirk, and he loves to share his memories with people, but everyone kind of knows where they were in 1984 when he hit that home run. It's something I've learned about Kirk is everybody's got their story, and it sounds like there was about 2 million people in that stadium from the stories that I've heard. But he's been Dave. He's been so special to Michigan, and I think that he's in the 11th year of his fight with the disease. He probably had it 3 or 4 years, maybe more before that, when he looks back at the symptoms that were starting to appear. So he's been in this battle a long time. And what is so amazing is what I said earlier, he does not stop fighting for others. And this disease has humbled him as a person. He's been very open about that. He's been very open about, that he, like everybody with Parkinson's, he can have really bad days too, and where he doesn't want to fight. But he does. He finds the will and the energy, that strength, that incredible strength of his internal strength to get back up and have another go. The way we think about it at times is, I'm going up Kilimanjaro. Shauna and I are going up Kilimanjaro, and a lot of people are supporting us to do that. And by the way, our sponsors, Mitch Lyon, Wealth, and Planet Fitness, and Lineage Logistics, have been incredible. So I really want to thank them. But Dave, when we get up the top, we get to go down.
Yeah.
And when someone has Parkinson's, they're kind of climbing a mountain each day, and sometimes that mountain is, the terrain is pretty easy and pretty steady. Sometimes it's really, really steep and slippery, and you just don't feel you're making any progress whatsoever. And it's a disease where right now we can't see the top.
Yeah.
We just got to keep climbing. We can't stop climbing, because to do so means to really slip backwards. And so that's what we're trying to do, to encourage people to say, it is tough, it is a battle, but there are ways that you can live a better life, and we want to help you with that. And Kirk wants to help you with that, and he's leading from the front in everything that he's doing. It's quite amazing. Sometimes I see him so tired, and the Parkinson's really got him that day, and he just keeps walking out to the plate, ready for another one.
Yeah, amazing.
The type of guy he is.
Yeah, it is an amazing story.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we have had the opportunity to have this conversation. I wish, Steve, you and Shauna, the best in your challenge at Mount Kilimanjaro. That's fantastic. The work that you and everyone involved with the center, fantastic as well. And what a resource it is going to be for those afflicted with Parkinson's disease. Again, for those who want to get on board, who want to support, this effort in our community, to make this center available and thrive in this community, the best way for folks to do that.
Yeah, is to come onto the website, kirkgibsonfoundation.org, and there's lots of ways they can help. They can help us with events. They can help us with fundraising. They can help us by donating. They can help us by volunteering. So there's lots of ways. It's all there on the website, and we could not have done something as ambitious as this without the incredible people that work in the foundation, most of whom are volunteers. I'm but a spoke in the wheel, Dave. Really, I'm happen to be doing this climb, but I'm just one of an amazing group of people that are making it all happen. And if people want to join our team, we'd love it, because there's so much more we can do once we get the centre open to keep helping people live with the disease, which is what our mission is, and help them live better lives. So kirkgibsonfoundation.org is the website.
Excellent. Steve, I appreciate that. I look forward to visiting the center and see what you have built there for this community, and hope many others jump on board and support as well. And best of luck to you. Good health on the climb, and we're excited to follow your journey to the summit and back. Steve, thank you.
Thanks, David.
Steve Annear, the CEO of the Kirk Gibson Center for Parkinson's, joining us on the Dave LewAllen podcast today. Wish him the best, and we'll look to catch up, maybe following the journey as well. As always, we thank you for joining us for the Dave LewAllen podcast. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. Share this, like it, subscribe. Love to have you along on our journey as well. Until next time, thanks to our producer and director, Josh Bowron, and to you mostly for watching and listening. Stay safe, be kind.